keep things moving. Guys, let's get to the AFC East because I honestly think that we all could have different winners for I don't know if anyone's going to pick the Patriots except for Marcellus, but we all could end up picking one of three teams in this scenario. Just to start things out, I got the Miami Dolphins. Love me some Mike McDaniel ever since he was in San Francisco with the 49ers. You have Tua with confidence, and he is in that system for another year. He has all of the confidence with Mike McDaniel as his head coach, especially in comparison to Brian Flores. And so with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, but most importantly, Devon Achane, I'm going with the Miami Dolphins to win the division. I'm going to say that the Bills finish second, Jets finish third, and the Patriots are last. And this is a division, as great as the AFC North is, this is a division that very likely could have three playoff teams. But Jaevon, what do you think about that?
Got the Jets winning the division, guys. They're plus 170 to win it. Aaron Rodgers, this defense, I mean, if you would have had Aaron Rodgers with this defense last year, they could have absolutely been a Super Bowl contender. I want people to realize how good Breece Hall is and how good Garrett Wilson is. He's going to have a competent quarterback. He's not had that since his days at Ohio State. I want people to lock in on who Malachi Corley is. He is going to be a dog in this system. I think he's probably going to be in the slot, given that Mike Williams will most likely be the X receiver on this offense. So Malachi Corley, watch out for him as well. I think the Dolphins come in second. I like what their offense brings. They're pretty much an offensive. They put up a lot of yards and stats and all that good stuff. Now I get it. When it gets cold outside, they don't have the month of May. I get it, guys. They don't operate well in cold weather games. But I feel like they'll kind of be able to skate and skedaddle their way to the second place team. I like their offense really, really heavily. The Bills, I love Josh Allen, but I'm kind of low on the Bills right now. Kevin kind of convinced me last week with his division preview or their schedule preview. You got Curtis Samuel. I think he's hurt. You're relying on Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman's going to be a good receiver. Dalton Kincaid out there. I mean, you're just kind of wondering what they're going to be as an offense. Defensively, they lost a lot. So it's like you're kind of – Josh Allen was already kind of putting his cape on. I feel like he's going to have to be two superheroes at once for them to kind of be able to wiggle to an AFC East winner. And then you got the Patriots. I think the Patriots are the absolute dumpster fire. Gerard Mayo came out in press conference today and was like, yeah, Drake May is our second best quarterback on the roster. And I'm like, well, you drafted him third overall. So it's like he's going to have to play at some point. Brissett did go down injury, but I think Brissett did say Brissett was going to be, he could have, if it was a regular season game, he would have been able to go back in the game. So their O-line's really bad. I feel like the only bright spot, I want people to realize, yes, their offense is kind of putrid, but I do like the addition of Jaevon Baker from UCF. I think he's going to be a really talented guy. And Jalen Polk from Washington. I mentioned those guys last week on the episode. I think Cass previewed their schedule. I just kind of want you guys, to reiterate, those two guys, I think they're going to be pretty solid. So we'll give them some love. They'll get a lot of targets now because they need somebody in the receiving corps to make something happen. But yeah, Patriots coming in last. So I got the Jets coming in first. I have the Dolphins coming in second. Bills third. Patriots in last. Plus 2,700. You want to take the Patriots to win the division.
So I just have to respond real quickly because I have to defend my take. As Marcel says, Dolphins are choke artists. And even 1777 memorabilia says, nah, Miami is overrated, man. Dolphins had 2 wins in the last 6 games, including playoffs. All great points. If you guys tuned in for last week's episode in which we did our schedule previews, when I had the Dolphins, I have the Dolphins starting 7-0 and then finishing 11-6. And so obviously they're going to end up losing. 6 of their last 10 games if that scenario happens. For me, as long as they get into the playoffs, and even if they're not at home, as long as they don't end up in negative degree weather like they were last year, I think that they will learn from that experience and be better for it. But that's what happens when they get to the playoffs. We're talking about the division winners, and all these teams are going to beat up on each other. 11-6 can win this division. But Kaz, who do you have winning the AFC East?
So I'm conflicted. I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not confident on this pick. But I do have Miami taking it. I took Miami for some of the same reasons that you mentioned. Their offense, they didn't take a step backwards at all. If anything, they're going to be even better. That doesn't mean Tyreek Hill has to put up 1,700 yards again when you have guys like Devin A-Chain, who did miss some games last year. We forgot about that. For the fantasy football people out there, you know what I'm talking about. That was a huge hit. Jalen Waddle was like non-existent all season long. That ain't going to happen again. And Tua does have his confidence. I think Tua's going to play very well, and Tua might be a sleeper for MVP if things pan out. If he mitigates the interceptions and they do what they did last year, I don't see why not. He's going to put 1,001 yards. So the Dolphins' offense is going to be fine. Maybe even better. Who knows? More complete, not just a Tyreek Hill fest. Defense-wise, they don't. When you have a great offense, time to time. Again, it's been proven in the current NFL that we watch now. You can do it with a really good offense. You don't have to have elite defense. It does help, and it does make the path easier, but these offenses nowadays are crazy. So I'm going to stick to my guns and go with Miami. In a very close second, I'm going New York. I think that the Bills are done. I think that New York's defense is legitimate. Aaron Rodgers is that guy. You have one of the best quarterbacks of all time. As long as he can stay healthy, he doesn't need to move much. He doesn't need to move much. He can do it all. Teach these young guys how to play very good football down the stretch. I think these guys are going to rally behind Aaron Rodgers and do very well. Their defense is going to continue to be a problem. Point blank. Period. In that division, it's just two up for grabs. I think the more complete team probably wins it. That's why I said I was conflicted. I would say New York comes in second behind the Miami Dolphins. If those flip-flopped, I wouldn't be surprised. Buffalo's done. I mentioned last week, you lost Stephon Diggs. That is a massive loss, whether you like him or not. It's huge.
100 catches.
That is massive. You can't replace that, and they didn't do anything to replace that. The Bills are done, point blank, period. And then in last place is obviously the Patriots. They may win a game. So going with Miami. I'm serious, brothers.
Only one?
Listen, I covered the AFC East last week on the episode, and I think I had them like winning, I think three or four. But I'm serious. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they just literally won 1 or 2 games. I would not be shocked at all. So I was being more generous with my take last week, but Patriots, they come in dead last. If somehow, some way they finish third, Lord have mercy.
So we are officially split on the panel, including Kevin, because Kaz and I have Miami. No Bills picks, besides maybe in the comments. But as I'm alluding to, Kevin has Jets, Jets.